What's up, Honors? I'm Alex, as always, and welcome back to the channel. So I assume now all the halfway to Halloween stuff is over, because pretty much last week was technically halfway to Halloween, and overall this year I'm a little bit disappointed with how it went. Really only Spirit was the one who got into things. And even them, they never released their halfway to Halloween teaser like they normally do. Or at least not yet, there's a chance they release it this week. But yeah, overall, pretty much only Spirit did something special for halfway to Halloween, giving us a brand new animatronic, restocking some ones from last year, then also giving us a new video game, which is really cool. So anyways, with that said, that's enough talk for the intro. Let's of course get to talk about everything that we got for halfway to Halloween. Alright, so to kick it off, I decided let's just quickly talk about the two animatronics we got restocked, since there's much to say about them. They're just animatronics from last year, so let's quickly just talk about those. So of course, the two animatronics we got restocked for halfway to Halloween is the Michael Myers and the Dark Princess. And overall, these two animatronics, they're pretty cool. Not personally some of my favorites, but you know, overall, they kind of grew on me over the past Halloween season. Of course, the Dark Princess one, I wasn't the biggest fan of her first after seeing her video, but seeing that animatronic in person, she's an awesome one, and it's cool that they're going to be selling her again for 2024. And then of course, Michael Myers is just online only. I don't care too much usually about the licensed animatronic. I'm more of a fan of the original creatures they make. But still, that Michael Myers was a cool one and definitely one of the best ones out there. So overall, nice to see these restocked. And also with them being restocked, they updated the prices. Of course, the Dark Princess, I think hers went up by $20. And then Michael Myers, I think his went up by $30, or it might have just been $20. So a little bit more expensive for these now. And I assume these prices are mainly because of tariffs. I might be wrong on that. Because of course, the tariffs from the US on China used to only be 10% before April, which is when I assume they got these shipped in. So it does seem like tariffs will, of course, be affecting price of Halloween items, but at least these first ones, it's not affecting them too much, like $20, $30, that's still reasonable. But I guess we'll see how it goes for later Halloween drops in June. Alright, so of course, moving on now, let's talk about the Silent Deadly animatronic guy we have returned, and then we'll get into talking about the video game. So of course, yeah, that's right, Silent and Deadly is back for 2025, which is really awesome. Personally, he's not an animatronic that I'm too crazy about, but he still is a really cool animatronic. I'm happy to see him return. If you don't know exactly what he is, he was originally sold in 2013. I believe he appeared in the Clown Train ISC, which was awesome. And he's definitely one of the animatronics that people have been asking most for Spirit Halloween to bring back. Him along with Barnyard Butcher, Pumpkin Nester, those two are some of the biggest ones that people just really want to see back. So with them bringing this guy back, it makes it seem like maybe there's a possibility that we'll see Barnyard Butcher, Pumpkin Nester back in future years. But anyways, for now, let's just focus on Silent Deadly here. Which, yeah, overall, I love the new one right here. They changed a couple of things about him. The design's mostly the same, but they definitely did improve some of the stuff like the controls on him, the mechanism, just the framing of him. Of course, he is made by a new company now because the original company that made him, I believe they went out of business, so there's a new designer of him this time. Yeah, overall, I can't remember what company it is, but whatever it is, they did a great job designing this guy. It looks awesome. And yeah, I think just the coolest thing about him is he just has such simple animation, all that, but really just the thing is he just has such a menacing look to him. I love that face design on him. It looks great. And then just that white and red color scheme, you know, it's just that classic carnival vibe. I love it. So yeah, overall, this guy right here, Silent Deadly, he's an awesome animatronic. Not one I will buy. I think he's online only, and I don't really want to have to pay $100 shipping to Canada, but if he does make it into stores, maybe he'd be one I'd consider getting, because this guy is certainly a creepy one, and he would look so good in my carnival theme. Anyways, moving on now to the last sort of thing to talk about. We, of course, have Spirit Halloween's new video game, which this is awesome. I had a feeling they're going to release a video game this year because, I don't know, just kind of felt like the right time to do it. You know, it's been a few years since they released the movie. They've been releasing just tons of Spirit merch recently, so you know, it just felt like it was time. And yeah, they delivered for halfway to Halloween. They gave us a new video game, which unfortunately for right now, they only have physical copies of it. But the physical copies were pretty cool. They're, of course, these little old NES cartridge type games, which they can only work if you have a classic NES, which is really cool. I like that sort of retro vibe of them. I definitely would have bought one if they weren't $60. I don't know, $60 seems a bit expensive, and I could get some other just classic NES games for like way cheaper, like 15 bucks. So I didn't really want to spend 60, however much that is in Canada plus shipping for it. But it does say these are going to be available to download sometime soon, so I can't wait for that. But anyways, just some of the stuff on the website right here we can see about the game just looks awesome. Of course, the cover art for it looks great. Just from that, you can tell this is packed full of Spirit Halloween characters, details, references, all that. Another weird thing I want to point out about the cover too is, we of course have Sam from Trick or Treat on here, which, like, I guess Spirit made a character of him, an animatronic, but it's weird that they have him in a Spirit Halloween video game. But overall, I'm a fan of Sam from Trick or Treat, so I don't care too much about that. But yeah, there's tons of other awesome animatronics in this. Some new ones, some old ones. Particularly for old ones, on the cover they chose to put the Reaper of Souls or whatever his name was on there, which I think is interesting because that guy was sold a long time ago, 2009. So with him being on the cover, it makes me think maybe they're going to bring him back. I'm not 100% sure. It'd be awesome to see him back. He's an awesome animatronic, and I know they've tried to bring him back before back in 2019, but it didn't work out. So there's a chance maybe this guy's going to come back and that's why he's on the cover. But yeah, either ways, tons of details on there. And then just watching that video of the gameplay for this little trailer, you can just see there's tons of cool stuff about this. You start off in that Spirit Halloween store, which looks so good in the 8-bit form. And then you just go around battling the different Spirit Halloween characters, and yeah, just such an awesome game. I can't wait for it to come out and download, and definitely when it does, I'm going to download it and 100% going to have a video out on it. Alright, and moving on, I forgot to mention about this earlier, but there's another thing we got which is kind of cool, which is that we got that little ghost trap thing from Ghostbusters. I blank out what the name of it is. We got the actual little trap thing as a prop you can get to go along with your costume. And the cool thing about this is, unlike props we've gone before, this one actually works, has this really cool fog effect. And yeah, I really love how it looks. Of course, in the demo video for it, you can see, you basically just roll it out. And when you push a button, it of course will open up, and then it'll have the sort of smoke that just blows out of it to kind of look like it's trapping the ghost into it. And overall, it just looks so awesome. I really like how they're making some props like this for costumes. I believe they've done some stuff like this with Killer Clown stuff before, and yeah, if you just really want to level up your costume, I think some stuff like this is really cool. Now, I haven't seen that Ghostbusters movie in so long, so I can't say how accurate it is to the movie. From what I remember, it does seem to be pretty accurate, but overall, this is awesome to get for halfway to Halloween, and yeah, I like just some of these little costume accessory add-ons that they're selling, which are just so detailed. This thing is awesome. And anyways, moving on, that's pretty much all we got for halfway to Halloween. But one more thing I want to mention is this little hint we got towards the theme for this year. Of course, originally when they were releasing their items, they had this cool background, which has now been changed to just this concrete wall. But originally we got this background which looked very familiar to a subway map. Like if you look at a New York City subway map, you'll of course see it looks very similar to what they had as the background right here. So I think what this confirms now is, yes, for 2025 we will be getting a subway theme, which pretty much everyone knew by now. Of course, we got the leaks a while ago of different parts for the IC they were ordering that had the subway names on, like subway seat cushions or something. Then also just last year, we got the hint that like Spirit Halloween is expanding their Spirit Station Z trains, so it kind of meant that sometime in the future we begin this theme. Then of course, there's just been so many leaks that come out, so I think now we can say for certain it will be a subway theme, which I'm really excited for. I love the original Spirit Station Z theme a couple years ago, so overall, I'm excited to see them do it again, and hopefully this time they do it even better. And yeah, I'm just really excited to see what Spirit does. Anyways, with all said, everyone, that's it for today's video. Hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll of course see you all in the next video. Goodbye.